Welcome to the continuation of 15.1. This is all about the extra-embryonic membranes, and we have some significant structures around the embryo. First of all, the fluid, the amniotic fluid in this region right here, that is going to protect that baby from any trauma or even temperature fluctuations, and that baby can move around freely in that fluid, the amniotic fluid, that is being secreted by the amnion, which is that inner layer. The chorion I'll talk about next is the outer layer, and this would be just on the other side of the amnion is this chorion. And what's significant is that this chorion will form the cells of the fetus that are part of the placenta, and mom's amniotic fluid, mom's endometrium of the uterus will form and weave into that and be the other part of the placenta. So as we talk more about the placenta, you will see that it's made up of chorionic cells and endometrial cells from the mother that are woven together, and diffusion of oxygen will go in, and diffusion of carbon dioxide will go out, diffusion of nutrients will go out in, and wastes will go out through that placenta, which is right here. The yolk sac is something you can see here. If this was like an egg, we know that yolks carry the nutrition that chick will need for the whole time before it hatches. What you will have to know is that in an embryo, it is not, the yolk sac is not a nutritive structure. There's no nutrition in there. What it does do is it kind of gets sucked in eventually as it develops and becomes part of the digestive tract as well. So it will form some of the blood cells and future gametes. The last part is the allantois, and the allantois is right here. It's going to form the umbilical cord, and it will also, you can see kind of a structure that's thicker here that will also end up being the bladder of the baby. Don't forget to check out this interesting video clip at the bottom of our screen. Those are the four main structures of the embryo. Here we see a yolk sac of image taken very, very early on. We have here the pictures that both of these are of 6 weeks, and how early on that yolk sac is visible, and then in a few months you don't see it because it's already gone in. And we can also see as time progresses how the placenta is forming. So we've got those chorionic sex structures, they're called chorionic villi, extending from the chorion, and the endometrium, as you can see, the baby's attached in this area to the endometrium, and the endometrial cells are meshed in with those chorionic cells to become the placenta, the area of exchange. We can see in this picture exactly what I just described. The villi, chorionic villi, are just the extensions from the chorion that weave in to the placenta and to form the placenta, along with the endometrial cells. And because they're woven in like this together, it would be like you clasping your hands together. There is a lot of surface area that's created there for diffusion of good stuff into baby and bad stuff out to mom's bloodstream, so mom's bloodstream can carry all the waste and carbon dioxide away. And you can see here we've got the umbilical blood vessels as well, with blood going to the baby and blood coming out of the baby. You have to realize that no blood cells from mom and baby ever mix, because there could be an incompatible blood type, and so that doesn't happen. The blood here going in and out of the baby is the baby's blood, and it's just going into this baby's area of the placenta, and diffusion is what's allowing the exchange. So as we go to this slide, that's what it's describing here, the two parts of the placenta and how blood is not shared, and how the placenta, because that diffusion happens, it also means the harmful materials could diffuse in. So alcohol, drugs, nicotine, those could actually get diffused into the baby. So there are some things that are very tiny and the chemicals that can actually get in to the baby's bloodstream across the placenta, and you may hear about viruses and bacteria as well that get in, but also mom's antibodies. So her antibodies that she's accumulated in her lifetime can also be tiny enough to get into the baby, so the baby does have that exposure to immune assisting molecules like antibodies. The jobs of the placenta, of course, allowing for nutrition to get in and waste to get out, for gases to be exchanged, getting, that's this one, respiratory gases to be exchanged, excretory wastes to be removed, hormones that are needed to go in, and antibodies that will allow to assist in immunity. The umbilical cord has two arteries and a vein, and it is very essential, but sometimes so long that it may become knotted, as in this picture. And in the case of twins, sometimes can get really knotted, so that can cause some problems. But we usually don't see it stopping function. Usually it's just more of an interest thing because the blood flow through there, it's pretty thick. It seems to be okay. When the baby's born, that umbilicus is cut off, tied off, and this will be left to basically dry up and fall off within about a week after birth. And that leaves you with what you guys would know as a navel or belly button, which is the spot where the umbilical cord was attached. Difference between an egg is that yolk sac is nutritive, and in humans it is not. In humans we are attached to the endometrium, and interestingly we still have structures that are similar, like chorion, amnion, and allantois with similar functions. All right, very cool videos you can take a look at in the end of 15.1, and I thank you for listening, and I will say bye for now.